Welcome to another of our member highlight series, and we are with Eleanor Rubin today. I'll start off. How long have you been a member of Japan Society of Boston? And I'll throw in the second question. What drew you to JSB?
Okay. I think I've been a member for about 12 years, and I have long had an interest in Japanese art, especially woodcuts, ukiyo-e prints, and more contemporary munakata prints. But also, I grew up in California, and it has its own kind of complex history with Japanese people, which I learned um, about the time I was in high school, that Japanese people in California had been rounded up and taken to concentration camps. And that's been of interest, and it kind of leads into your other questions about what am I passionate about. I'm really passionate about art, as I mentioned before, and music, and also social justice. So that was one of the kind of indelible learning that I had as a high school student about the bad history. I had an opportunity to go to Japan in 2006 and interview an artist for a book that was eventually published by the Japan Institute of the University of Michigan. I can show you the book.
Oh, yes, please.
It's called Imagination Without Borders, and I interviewed an artist there named Tamiyama Taeko. In Kyoto, I was able to visit. It was something that Martha Wright, the Thayer Award winner, had helped me to arrange to visit a man whose skill was in indigo dyeing. And I was able to go to his studio and learn about the process of indigo dyeing. So that was my this wonderful opportunity to visit Japan. But I would say, even as a young child, when I was just taken to restaurants and introduced to Japanese food, there was something about the experience of it, the aesthetic of it, the taste of it, that
I
has just
totally
always
agree.
appealed to me that I can't even explain. So,
Incomparable.
yeah, it's been there for a long time.
Definitely. Do you have a favorite event or program that you ever did with the JSB?
Well, I was invited to one of the Thayer events that honored a person who was my colleague at the Museum of Fine Arts Boston, honored Martha Wright. And that was really a wonderful event. Not only did they honor her, but they showed a film about the dog Hachi, that it's a fabled story about being faithful, in this case, a dog who always met his master at the train station every day. And so that was a wonderful event in many ways, and brought together, people from the Japan Society the Boston Japan Society, who I hadn't met before, and it was very festive and important. So that was pretty indelible. And I get the newsletter, so I'm aware of a lot of events, and everything from the recipes to the stories to the interviews. So I really value being part of that.
Oh, we definitely value as well.
Another way in which my interest in art and music and my work at the museum kind of connected was through a story that I learned about Hikari Oe, who is the son of Kenzaburo Oe, who has a writer and a political activist, and who just recently died. But his son was a boy with disabilities, and Kenzaburo writes in a very personal way about how he had to come to terms with that, and even make a major decision that the boy should live because he was so profoundly disabled at first. So that's a story that really captivated me, especially because Hikari, as told by his father, hadn't seemed to be much aware of the world until he heard bird song in the forest. So it was a story about disability and nature, and from bird song, one learns that Hikari's interest broadened to music, and he actually became a composer. So that's an important story to me, and one I've even tried to write as a children's book, and I sent you an illustration. Yeah.
I love that illustration. That really stood out to me. What about JSB do you think makes it special from other groups in the Boston area?
Well, I don't know a lot of other groups that specialize in, the arts and culture of Japan in the same way, and are as inclusive, of
True.
people in
and
the
historic.
Area. And historic. So I met Peter Grilly, one of the important people there, again, through the museum and through mutual interests. So, for somebody like me who doesn't speak Japanese and has only been in Japan once, it's a very important way to stay connected and to learn. So I would just encourage people to get involved and just it helps you to be alert to things that, that
especially
you wouldn't know about.
Yes, culture from the other side of the world that I think a lot of Americans would benefit from learning more about, widening perspectives.
Yes. So those are kind of key moments in my connection to the Japan Society and to Japan.